And good morning, welcome back. It's 8:17 on Sunday morning, Columbus Day weekend, and with us in the studio we have Theresa, Bernhardt, and Greydon Turner with the Washington Valley Housing Coalition. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for getting up early on a Sunday to chat with us. I mean, since we're all up, we might as well have some fun and chat and tell people about what it is that your group does and is sort of advocating for affordable housing in the Valley.
Absolutely.
Feel free to step right in.
Step up, right?
So this year we're hosting another charrette. I've done 3 of them. We've done certainly more than that. This year what's a little bit different is we've been asked by the selectmen of the town of Conway to take a look at where the rec center building is in Center Conway and see if there isn't a better use for that. The idea of a charrette, for those who don't know, is to take a look at a piece of land in current environment as far as the market, what's affordable, what can we build, what does labor cost to do so, and are there ordinances that could be changed to make that building project easier, thereby making the idea of affordable housing a realistic. So it's exciting this year that we had the selectmen ask us to take a look at this property.
And why was this property chosen?
I think they're interested in learning more about its highest and best use and how best to move forward with it. I think 2 of the things that are important for us to mention when we try to depict properties to do the charrette process on are water and sewage services as well. It's very critical because in the long run it's going to have an effect on whether or not it's really a doable piece of property to end up having affordable housing on.
I'm sorry, but I think our selectmen also realize that we do have an affordable housing issue. I think they're hearing it from people who live here. They're hearing it from employers who are having problems finding employees who live here. I think they too would like to see a solution for this.
Okay, and a charrette is a listening session. It's a meeting. It's just a different word that people, it's not exactly layman lingo of people every day, but it's a good crossword puzzle.
Thank you, Marty, for bringing that up, because that is something that we struggle with always. Should we continue to call this a charrette? Because people say, well, what is that anyway? And how come after all these charrettes nothing's happened so far? So by definition, a charrette is a design process, and that's what we're doing. Our goal, we're not out here to come up with a plan that starts in effect immediately after or shortly thereafter. It is a process to look at various options and to effectively open people's minds, all of ours, about how we could get to that end goal, given the challenges that we have to get ourselves there.
And when is the next one?
So the next one, we have 2 phases of it. On the 17th of October, we'll be meeting at the Conway Public Library at 7 p.m. Prior to 7 p.m., we will be on site with engineers, some folks from the finance world. We'll have, who else usually attends that?
The build, so,
There's
and
a
it's,
team.
yeah, that's right. The team for the charrette includes an engineer, Josh McAllister with HEB.
Yep.
Again this year, Josh has been
architect.
very good. An architect, Michael Couture, architect. 2 builders will be with us. Gordon Cormack, again, he's been involved in others, and Claude Pigeon, who has been involved in other charrettes as well. Bankers are TD, wait a minute, Northway Bank is Ed Harrigan, that's right.
And Bank of New Hampshire.
Bank of New Hampshire, that's right, exactly. Yep.
So we'll get together, we'll look at the property, we'll walk through it, and then we'll go to the Conway Public Library on the 17th at 7 p.m. There we'll be taking questions from citizens. Last year I think we had about 30 people show up for that. And then we move on to Design Day, which is on the 22nd of October, where we'll be at the Tech Center. Anyone is welcome to attend, and that's where we're actually sitting down with this group of people to, in essence, make a project.
Right.
Last year,
That's right.
last year they came up with,
for,
I don't need to be on camera.
I can hold it, that's right.
Last
There we
year
go.
they came up with this. This all gets done in one day. And it's a fair amount of work, and it's all volunteer time from all of these people to come up with what could be done with a piece of property given changes X, Y, and Z.
So correction, this was the year before. This is
was the
the
year before?
2017, that's right.
Yeah, so
Last
that's
year was
2017.
Banfill, that's right. And do we have the Banfill? This way, that's right, yeah,
that one.
exactly. This was
Since the past 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
And
come
it's-
up in different layouts of the community, of the property, of what it could look like.
Correct.
You could use existing structures. You could build new structures.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's totally creative, and it's a fascinating process to watch because And it looks like it's easy. It's a pretty picture, and the amount of time that went in
takes a
that,
lot of hours to
the
get to that pretty
involvement,
picture.
That's right. To watch the cooperation between the engineer and the architect and the bankers and the builders, and so what do we need, and how can we get that, and what kind of change would we need to try to affect in order to be able to make this a reality? Is what we're looking to do that day.
Nice. And
Yeah.
if people want more information or about the Housing Coalition, about the upcoming Charettes, where can they find that?
They can go to the website, which is MWVHC.org. Certainly they can, there's a ton of information there.
Sure, yeah.
That's a
And
great
we'll
place
have
to go. Yeah.
advertisements in the paper. Certainly you guys are doing a great job
Sure.
promoting it for us.
And also we talked about the different engineers and people who are taking part, but also are there other businesses or organizations
Yes, there are.
that
Yep.
take part
Yeah,
in
we
this?
have. I hope that people can see this because it's really hard to enumerate the sponsors. But once again, we do have a good representation of sponsors who are helping with our efforts and to spread the word and to hopefully see the reality of our dream of affordable housing sooner than later.
Right, because judging from the designs you put up, this has been going on for at least 2 years.
This has
If
been
the
going
one-
on for.
Oh, it's been going on for longer than that.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
I guess now just
Yeah.
because sort of making some progress, and now like you sort of see the results that people are becoming more cognizant of what you're doing.
This is a really interesting year for it this year. I've been doing this for 3. I don't know how long.
Myself too as well. Yep.
So what's interesting about this year is we're having the conversation about how short-term and long-term rentals affect each other. And if you do a Venn diagram, they're only a little related. It's not a huge correlation. But what is also unique, not only that conversation, but the conversation with the selectmen who are interested in taking a piece of town property and saying what could be done with this that's better than what it does now. Also the ordinance that's being presented to the town right now that would allow for greater density with some restrictions. That ordinance, so all 3 of these things really to come together, I think it's years of work for this culmination, but I think it makes that project this year even that much more interesting because we're going from theoretical into, well, how realistic is this? And I find that really exciting, and I think a lot of people working on the project do as well.
It's getting more and more real, definitely, and the interest at the town level is very exciting to see. And I think we'd be remiss in not mentioning that the champion advocate of this entire process, Victoria Larissy, deserves applaud and accolades. She
works very
works tirelessly toward that goal, and you can tell it's like her passion, her dream, and we're fortunate to have her in that regard.
As well, Theresa, Greydon, thank you very much for
Thank you.
stopping by.
Thank you.
Again, the Mount Washington Valley Housing Coalition, they have the Charette coming up on October 17th at the Conway Library at 7 o'clock, so check out their website, and get there and get involved. And we'll be back after this.